Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. I have a special guest with me today. Her name is
Hopefully.
Ofline, and she is a really special guest. I've known Ofline for many, many years, and honestly, the first time I met Ofline, or my first memory of Ofline, is when I had seen her singing in church. Like, she really has a beautiful musical gift. And so, with that being said, our title for today episode is Gifts and Talents, because this woman here has so many gifts and talents that just makes the world a much more beautiful place. It really do. So, my question to you, Ofline, is when did you discover that you can sing?
I didn't really know that I could. Well, I did know I could sing just like any other singer, but I did go to church school, which was actually located in Sinai, Broward Junior Academy, and I noticed that my teachers were noticing my voice a little more than my other classmates, and they would sometimes pick me out to kind of do harmonies and stuff like that. And so that's when I figured, maybe I have something that's just a little bit extra. So it all started at school.
Musical school?
No, like my actual elementary school.
Oh, so during music class?
Not during, well, with church schools, we're pretty much always singing because we have we have prayer in the morning, prayer before we go to lunch, we have chapel programs, and so sometimes we'll be practicing during the week before those chapel programs, and during those practices is when they would notice.
So was the classroom shock, or how was it?
No, I think it was like a gradual thing. Like, I wouldn't say they were shocked because it started as little as second grade. My teacher was Miss Phillips, and she would always kind of point it out.
Yeah.
So as a 6 or 7 year old, you're not gonna really look into it like that. But as time went on, and I went to 4th, 5th grade, and then middle school is when I really started honing in on my skills.
And then that's when it gradually cultivated.
And then I actually, because at a young age, we weren't able to sing in the, be in the youth church, because the youth church was for a specific age at Sinai.
Right.
So it's not until I really got to I would say mid to tail end of high school is when I actually started singing in church.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel possessing such a beautiful gift now that it's cultivated and whatnot? How does it feel?
It feels good. It's a little bittersweet because I am hard on myself, and singing professionally isn't something I really do anymore, neither in the professional world or in church. So it's something that I'm kind of trying to get back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't necessarily feel like you're a professional?
No, not anymore.
No?
No.
Really?
I wouldn't say so. I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay. So, was music your first love?
Yes.
It was?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay,
It
tell
was
us
my
the
first
story
love.
about that.
I just loved music, period, any kind of music. I was open to any genre, but the genre I fell in love with first, of course, was what I was first introduced to, which is gospel.
Right.
I feel like gospel artists and gospel music, period, just has so much variety to it. And I really fell in love with the intricacies that are in gospel.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I love gospel music too. I would say I wasn't necessarily raised in church. So gospel music wasn't my first favorite genre of music, but I grew to love gospel music, and so it really did carry a powerful meaning.
Yeah.
So do you still love to sing?
I do. I just aren't as proud as I used to be of myself when I do sing. Because it's quite evident that it doesn't sound the same as when it did when I was singing on a regular basis.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how often do you sing now?
I rarely sing. I really can't tell you, yeah. Because I'm not in a setting to where I'm singing often anymore. When I was singing often is when I was in school for it, which I'm not anymore. And also when I was in church, which I'm also not in anymore. So I sing in the shower.
Okay, like everyone else. Okay.
Yep.
So, how has your musical gift impacted the community? Like, have you received any testimony or praises about like your voice?
I wouldn't necessarily say testimonies. I don't know. I mean, there may have been testimonies based on my selections, but I do get compliments, I would say. Yeah, I do get people who saying that they were moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about singing now? Like,
I don't know. It's complicated because I was in school, and for medical complications, I did have to drop out. But that would pretty much right now would probably be the only reason why I would get back into singing, because I'm not a creative artist, I guess I should say. And that would be the only thing I think that would land me back in the studio in order to kind of like start singing again, which I'm not. So other than that, it would have to be like school or something.
Okay. How has music or singing helped you overcome some of your darkest moments? Like, have you used music or singing to overcome some of your darkest moments? Because often, like, when I would speak to people who have musical gifts, they would often like sing like their way through, hard times and whatnot, and that's what lifts them up. So I don't know if that's a tool that you use.
Yeah, I might be an odd person. I like to listen to music, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I go to music in order to help me get through dark times. I think what I do is just make myself busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I just make myself busy, or I binge watch my favorite show.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that I start singing. When I'm in a low place, if I start singing, I might just end up like crying. I wouldn't even get through the song. Yeah. So I don't know. It's not necessarily something that I've used.
Okay. So, moving on to makeup, because guys, I don't know if you guys don't know, but she's also an amazing makeup artist.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, as you can see.
It was just a little light work today.
She's an amazing makeup artist. How long you been doing makeup?
Since 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a little over 10 years, guys.
Yeah.
10 years in the makeup game.
Yeah.
So I love makeup, so I get excited about makeup. So my question for you is, when did you fall in love with makeup?
When I realized how happy it was making people. It really just uplifts your spirits. Unfortunately, a lot of us struggle with what's the word? Insecurities.
Yeah, self-esteem.
So self-esteem. So makeup is just one of those things that could just temporarily like put a little patch on it,
Right.
So it's like anything you can do to just make yourself feel like you again. Whether it's getting your hair done, your nails, doing your makeup and going to like an event and just showing it off. Like, I like that feeling of being part of that. It does feel good.
So what introduced you to like makeup and the whole, industry?
I would say it was kind of like a mistake. I didn't plan to be a makeup artist.
Really?
I just kept playing in makeup, and like people from church would notice.
Yeah.
And little by little, people would ask me to do like little things for them, like, oh, can you draw my eyeliner, or can you do my eyebrows? And I would do it. And at first, I was helping people who were like within my skin range. But as word spread, I had other people who were outside of my skin tone asking me for help. And then I found myself randomly, buying stuff at Walgreens and Walmart.
Okay.
And before I knew it, I had a case full of stuff. And that's when my best friend was like, I think it's time you start charging people, because now you're actually using your own money to, invest into products just to do it. So turn it into a business, and that's what I did.
That's interesting. So do you have a specialty? I don't know if there's a specialty.
Yeah, there are different kinds of makeup. I just specialize in glam, event makeup, wedding makeup.
Okay.
I do want to get into the other more, intricate sides of makeup, like, like the FX and like the movie makeup.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just glam.
Just glam?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember, like, I would say back in 2019 or maybe 2018, one of my close friends was getting married, and I was a bridesmaid. And so we were all in a hotel room, and we were basically getting ready for the wedding. So we had on our robes, and we were like putting on makeup and whatnot. So I did my own makeup. And I didn't think I did such a good job. Like back then, I only knew about baking. And it was just like the very basic form. And then
What year was it?
That was like 2018. 2017,
Yeah, okay.
2018. Like that's when baking was like in style.
Thing, yeah.
And so I remember all the girls, they just gathered around me. They was like, oh my gosh, your makeup is so pretty. Can you do my makeup? Can you do my makeup? And I was like, okay, I don't think I'm a pro, but okay.
Did you do it?
I did. I
Okay,
did all of their makeup. And honestly, I felt like at that point, I could have started a career as a makeup artist. But then I realized how much work.
Yeah.
How much work it is.
Yeah. I think makeup over time evolved a lot.
Yeah.
Because like you said, during that time, baking was like the hype.
Yeah.
But if you think about even before that, like back in 2014, 15, like I said, is when I started.
Yeah.
Makeup was probably like a 3 to 4 step process. No one was really talking about contouring, highlighting.
That's true.
All of that extra stuff. But now it's like what used to take me like 20 to 30 minutes now takes me at least an hour. Yeah, I'm anytime I take in a client, it's an hour long session.
Right.
So yeah, it is a lot of work, but if you love what you're doing, it goes by.
That's true. I remember the highlights. I love highlights. I love seeing the women with the highlights and the sunlight.
And it's just glowing.
I love it.
Yeah, it's still a thing, but not as high. Right now, I think the big hype is blush.
Yeah, that's true. Like the flush look.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so let's see. What made you continue doing makeup despite the obstacles surrounding it when you first started? Because I know, like, when you first started makeup, you were in the church, and the faith that we're in, they really prioritize natural look, no makeup, no weave, no nails. So how did you, like, push through the, obstacles and the naysayers and whatnot, and still continue your passion for makeup?
That was actually one of like my biggest struggles with the church, and sort of kind of, what kind of put a dent into, my faith, beliefs, or church, or whatever it is right now.
Yeah.
Makeup is just a small percentage of that. I'm not gonna blame it, but like it's just a small percentage of that.
Okay.
I got a lot of "you're a Jezebel," or this is not a career path that you should take because you're not gonna see those pearly gates. Yeah. I got a lot of side eyes. I love a red lip. And when we're talking about religion, we can't just talk about religion. We have to also talk about culture. And when you mix our Haitian culture with it, it just makes it way more intense.
Right.
And you know, when you're talking about like modest and very conservative Haitian religious people,
Yeah.
the red lips and the eyeshadows, that's just never gonna work.
Yeah.
So being that I was really into that, and not only that, I played sort of kind of an important role at my church, as in I was always in the spotlight. I was always like on stage. It wasn't a good look, and it was a huge clash. And I kind of felt like a little bit torn, because
like
singing and makeup were two things that I really wanted to do. And there are a lot of times where I felt the need to kind of adjust or tone down something that I felt was so right and was so beautiful to me. But to them, it was a absolute no, because depending on the intensity of the makeup or whether I wore it at all, was thought of as not
like
right, not religious, not appropriate for the setting.
Right.
So now that I have been able to express myself, and you know, thanks to my my wonderful partner who has allowed me to stop caring so much about what others think of me and their opinion, and also with therapy and stuff, I was able to be content and happy with who I actually am, and who's really me, and be able to just go through life and wear all the makeup I want, wear all the nails that I want, and not feel overwhelmed by possible judgment.
Not feel conflicted.
Yeah, because the judgment didn't go away. It's still here.
Right.
But what's different now is I don't care. Yeah, that's what's different now.
Right. And honestly, that is one of the things that I really admire about you, because you did not quit.
Yeah.
She did not quit, guys. Like, when I tell you that there were people that were saying this is no future for her there, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. This, that, and the third. She still kept going.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people don't think that makeup artistry is a real career. So
back then they did it, but now they're paid. So honestly, that's one of the things I highly admire about you, and that's one of the things that really showcase your strength, that despite all of the negativity and the odds, you still managed to like push through and fight for your dreams. And now you can see the fruits of your labor.
I mean, I really do love makeup, and if I'm not doing makeup, I don't know what else I'd be doing, because it's one of my most loved things to do, because I'm a creative person. I love to create. I love to anything that requires creativity. I like getting into it. I think I'm a handsy kind of person.
Oh, hands-on.
Yeah.
And I love that about you, because what that tells me is that you're authentic. You're true to yourself.
Wow, yeah.
You really are. Yeah. And in a world of, people who are still figuring themselves out, or just, I would say follow the status quo, it's kind of like a challenge to really like be who you are in this day and age. And so that's really amazing.
Thank you, Rob. Didn't think of it now.
Yeah. So please share your wonderful experiences as a makeup artist. Like, what is life like as a makeup artist?
This might not feel like a great thing for the clients, but it's an amazing feeling for me. My most happiest moments as a makeup artist is being able to save the day. Believe it or not, I will get a lot of brides who at the last minute will get canceled, or their artist will end up being a no-call, no-show.
What? On their wedding day?
On their wedding day. And I love love. Okay, like I love, and being a part of anyone's wedding day, no matter how hectic it is, you know. At one point I quit doing weddings because it was it was too much, but I got back into it because I really do love the smile that I get on the bride's face when they see themselves in the mirror and imagining themselves walking down that aisle to meet the love of their life. I love being able to save a bride's day. So when I do get those calls, and I unfortunately get them quite often, I'm happy to kind of pack up shop and go and do that and be that somewhat of a savior for that person. So for me in my career, that is one of the most exciting things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and not just weddings, you know, any event that someone like, I like to be there like when that crisis happens.
Right. And I definitely know that you made a lasting impression on them because like no one ever forgets their wedding day. No one forgets their
a lot
wedding
of the
day.
clients that I did end up saving in that way ended up keeping my number, and now I'm like their go-to person.
Right.
So it's like a match made in heaven. It's like it was meant to happen.
It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm one of her clients too. I will call her up for like events and birthdays and whatnot, but mostly birthdays. So like every year she would see me, or every other year, you know, depending on my birthday. And she really is amazing. She really is amazing. And so, what is the worst experience you've had as a makeup artist? Because I know it's not all glitz and glam all the time.
The worst experience for me would be people not being respectful of my craft and also like stealing from me. Like, not stealing. Why did I say stealing?
Like
that's not the right terminology. Not paying me.
Oh.
Yeah. People often take someone's niceness for granted. And that has come to bite me a lot of times. And so now, like, I try to implement certain rules, but it has happened quite too often to where I do the work and I don't get paid for it. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Like, as big as, like, groups of people before. Yeah. It happens. It has happened quite a lot in the past. Not so much now, but
in the past.
Yeah, that was probably one of the worst. Because it's like, I have my highs and I have my lows. Like, this is what I do for a living. This is my job. This is what pays the bills.
Right.
So it's like, can you imagine, like, being at your low point and depending on that, you know, to make certain ends meet, and then someone goes and they take advantage and they don't pay it. So it's like, it could be, yeah.
That is wild.
It could be traumatic, actually.
That's kind of like a dine and dash. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I hope like there's certain laws or something like that's in place, because that's, like you said, that's stealing.
Yeah.
That is.
It's yeah. But of course, I'm not gonna chase someone down. It's not giving that. So I just let it go. You guys know who you are. Okay, so one thing I've also noticed about makeup artists is that you guys have one of the most flawless skin. The most flawless, clear skin. Wow.
So, like, what is your skincare routine while, like, you know?
It's funny because I do collaborate and talk to and have relationships with a lot of other makeup artists. And one thing that's very common amongst us is that as much as people think we have skincare routines and as much as people think we have knowledge of the skin, we actually don't.
No.
So I'm always flattered when I get compliments about my skin.
Yes.
But of course, everyone's their biggest critic, and I do not find my skin to be that great. I mean, I don't have any serious acne scars or bumps or anything like that. But you know how everyone wants that perfect, even tone skin.
Right.
It's really just me being picky. But to be quite honest, I don't have a
skincare routine.
I really don't. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that in the past, it would literally be any soap that's available at that sink counter, whether it was hand washing soap, body soap. I'm talking Irish Spring, Dial, Dove. That was literally like the same soap that I'd use on my face, which is horrible. I can
wash the makeup off, or just in general?
In general, for everything.
Oh, wow.
For everything. But now I'm getting a little better. I order some turmeric soap on Amazon or TikTok, and that's like my main thing. It's what I use now.
Wow.
And Nadej, from the church, Nadej Innocent, is also she also has like a skincare line that I have tried before, which was really nice.
I did.
And it did work for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, that is what I'm using at the moment as well. In addition to the turmeric soap that I buy online. And that's about it. But you know, some people have like those 5-step you know, toner and cleanser and moisturizer, all that. No, I just use soap.
Back in 2016, there was like a 20-list step of skincare routines.
I could never
keep makeup too.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like at least a 20 to 30 step routine with makeup. But because I'm really into makeup, it doesn't feel that way to me. And I remember each step one after the other, and I do it the same way each time. But I don't really care much about, you know, skincare, which is more into like the dermatology aspect of things. So I really do keep it short and sweet. It's not to say that the other method isn't right, but I don't do it, and I should start. But I have a consistency issue.
Do you?
I do.
I know I do.
I do. I'm really bad at being consistent. I'm not consistent with anything I do in life.
Oh my God.
I need to work on that.
Really?
But I will start something today, and literally by like Saturday I stop.
Oh my goodness. I thought I was the only one. You know how many projects I started?
Girl.
People start taking me seriously.
Keep this going. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you, girl. Trust me, I know. I totally get it. Right.
Because I know for women who are not as experienced with makeup, they're often concerned with their skin, because there's many, I would say, negative connotation to makeup. They say, oh, it'll break your skin out, it'll make you age, or this and that.
For sure. And it's all depending on whether or not someone would have an allergy. And also there are some women who have habits of keeping makeup on for a lot longer than they're supposed to.
Oh yeah, I've heard women would like have their makeup on for a whole weekend.
Girl,
going on trips and stuff.
Although I am flattered that my makeup can even last that long, I don't suggest it. I don't suggest it, because you are clogging your pores, and if you have sensitive skin, you can break out from that. So my suggestion to everyone is to see an allergist or a dermatologist, and see what they're allergic to and what to stay away from. And also for people who don't have anything wrong with their skin, just kind of keep it cleansed and not to wear that makeup for too long, because it can clog your pores, and if your skin isn't breathing, you can definitely break out.
That's true. And so, you know, we're approaching summer now, and so summer means vacation, water, all that other stuff. So do you have like waterproof makeup, or like have you ever experienced waterproof makeup and going to the pool and whatnot?
Let me tell you, and I really hope that I don't get any backlash from this, but there is waterproof makeup and waterproof setting spray and so on and so forth being sold everywhere. Based on my experience, I don't know if I'm just not doing it right. I have tried certain things that really allow that makeup to stick on to where it really doesn't, budge. If you're doing like everyday activities.
Right.
But like imagine dunking your face into water and come back up and doing that repeatedly over and over. I don't see how that's any different from like washing your face.
Right.
So with doing that, I've had my makeup like start to wash off.
Oh wow.
But what I will say is it might be because I have oily skin. Now, when I do use those same products on other clients, they say that it works for them. It somewhat works for them. But as everyone knows, oil extracts makeup.
Yes.
So if the base of my skin is oily, and then I'm adding water to that, then more than likely it will come off. But yes, to answer your question, like waterproof makeup does exist and it is out there, especially the setting sprays. So y'all could definitely go into stores and get some. I know One Size has a brand. It's in a pink aerosol can. And you can definitely buy that spray and use it for like that summer makeup. But I don't know. This Florida sun is really hot.
It's hot.
If I were you guys, I'd just draw on some eyebrows and pop on some lashes and just go bare skin. Because how are you gonna wipe the sweat off of your face if you got makeup on?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Eyebrows, lashes, and a good lip gloss will go a long way.
I'm telling you, like when I have my eyebrows and lashes on, I feel as if my whole face is done. Like I feel elevated. I honestly don't even feel like I need to do more.
Right.
And I was gonna do that today, but I'm like, let me put in a little bit more effort.
Okay.
Because this is a podcast and do a little bit of makeup.
Right.
But my everyday makeup is eyebrows and lashes. Yeah, and a little bit of lip gloss.
Okay.
And that's it.
And it looks good, guys.
Yeah.
It looks good. And so, many people now are on a budget. So, what do you recommend, like the most affordable makeup brand that's still good quality?
Maybelline.
Really?
Maybelline. Revlon.
Okay.
Those are all drugstore products.
Right.
That you can get in beauty supply stores and in Walmart and Walgreens. Also NYX.
I love NYX.
Yeah.
And their lip gloss.
Really good brand.
Yeah. Definitely.
So those I definitely use.
Okay.
I actually have them at my shop. I still use them.
Nice.
Yeah, they're just as good as the high-end brands.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How are the high-end brands such as like Fenty and MAC and whatnot?
Personally, I don't like to use MAC because MAC, as far as foundation, I do love their lips.
Right.
MAC foundation, I found they oxidize a lot. And I don't like that because if I start off one way, I don't want all makeup brands will oxidize to some point.
Can you break it down to us? What's oxidized?
Okay, so in simpler terms, the makeup will change tones as it's, adjusting to like, I guess, your body heat or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so what the color that you might have put on your face, like at first, may not be the same color that it is in about another hour or two.
I see.
Yeah, so that's what I don't like about that. But all the other brands, pretty good. I find that they stay fairly the same after the whole day goes by.
That's good. So I want to piggyback to when you said that, you love doing makeup because it makes other women feel good, like it increased their self-esteem and it increased their confidence. So is that why you basically, I guess, progressed to like teaching other women to do their own makeup and empower them?
Yeah, what happened is I got a lot of clients who asked me if I teach. And for a long time I didn't. Especially because I was going based off of what I saw other makeup artists doing. And a lot of them, they're teaching in class settings. But it's hard for me to teach and to make sure that people are actually leaving the room with key skills because I want for you to get your money's worth
Yeah.
and get what you're paying for.
Right.
So what I did is I just kind of curated to where it's just like one-on-ones and like
Oh, so you have
it's just-
private lessons.
yeah, it's just
Oh.
private lessons, one-on-one lessons, and they're about 3 to 4 hours long. And yeah, it's a lot of detail. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you'll leave that one-on-one session knowing how to do your makeup.
Wow, so that's like a one and done class. You can
One and done. If you follow the
If you
the
follow
instructions,
instructions.
because makeup is not a one and done thing. It's muscle memory, and you have to practice.
Right.
You have to practice. So I will give you all the skills that you need to know in order to practice, and you should never need to take another class again.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Because the way I teach it, I make sure that you're soaking up all the details and you're retaining retaining the information. So plus I allow you to record the entire session so you can go back and review it. So
That's amazing. So, like, do you travel? Are you a traveling makeup artist?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do travel.
Okay. So do you have your own studio or?
I do.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I know that you also have another business. Guys, Ofline also have an event decor business. So can you tell us about that? You see, she's like a wonderful gift to the world. She can sing, makeup, and now an event decor business.
Yeah. So what happened is me and my best friend, we're really creative, and in the past we had a lot of friends who always do events, and we didn't realize it, but we've been doing this for quite a long time. We were just always helping friends and we're never charging for it. So over time, just like with the makeup,
Yeah.
we realized that we had a talent for it and we just made a business out of it. Yeah.
So that's how it started?
That's literally how it started. Yeah, me and Judith.
When did you guys started it?
I would say maybe around the tail end of 2018, maybe 2019 is when we decided to really make it official.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So what events have you guys done so far?
We've done weddings, we've done birthday parties, graduation parties, anything really. Any kind of event, picnics.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was like the most memorable for you guys to do?
I don't know for my partner, but for me, the most memorable would be, like I said, I love. I love weddings, and that was my best experience, and she's one of my favorite clients.
Yeah.
Was that wedding that we did.
You guys decorated
And-
a wedding?
Yes.
So you guys are
And-
like wedding planners or like?
Yes, we're also planners.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're also planners. Yeah, and we didn't just decorate the wedding, we also planned it. We also helped plan it. So yeah,
How was that like? 'Cause-
it was a very good experience because
Yeah.
even though, because we're really bad at marketing right now, we have a lot of updating to do on our page.
Okay.
But even though she didn't have any work to go off of, it was just pure word of mouth. She trusted us enough to just do our thing. She simply gave us her favorite colors, and we worked on that scheme, and she ended up, her and her husband loved it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take you guys to plan it, and how long does it take?
You know what? I don't have too great of a memory, but I'm gonna say that we probably had about a month.
1 month
Yeah.
to plan and decorate a
One-
wedding,
one-
guys.
Yeah, 1 to 2 months. Yes, it was.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 to 2 months. I think what happened is they started doing it themselves
Oh,
and maybe realized that it would be too much, and then like they brought us on. Yeah.
You know, one thing I love about the event and the core planning is the wedding aspect.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I love watching reality TV shows about wedding planning and stuff like that. I don't know if you watched Keisha and Uchi. wedding.
I saw clips of it, and oh my goodness,
Yeah.
wow. But yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. But from what I saw, from the few clips that I saw,
Yeah, it was
that was an
very-
extravaganza.
Very extravaganza,
Yeah.
and the wedding planner did it in such a short time as well.
Yeah.
And it's just really beautiful to see. So, what's your vision for your business? Like, what is it called? What is
A
it?
perfect perspective decor.
Okay, perfect perspective decor.
Yes.
Okay, so like, what's next for it? What's your vision?
To just helping more clients one at a time. Like we're looking to service not only our locals, but you know, people out of state or even out the country, high profile clients,
Yeah.
you know, regular clients. We're looking to do it all because I love any opportunity that I'd get to be able to create a memorable, you know, event for anybody. So the goal is to expand, really is what I would say. It's just to expand, create a atmosphere to where, you know, people can like go to our website and just, you know, have people, you know, working for us and like getting us bookings and stuff like that. So although we are a startup business, our work really speaks for itself. It doesn't
It does.
look like
It does.
we're just starting up.
It doesn't.
Yeah, we're a well-established business, and if you see our work,
I will upload it for you guys. You guys will see. I'll upload
if you see
it.
our work, it definitely looks like a well-seasoned decorator.
Right.
So
I was definitely a witness to it because Daphne had performed my sister's baby shower.
oh
Yes.
oh yeah.
She decorated my sister's baby shower, and it was very beautiful and serene.
thank
And
you.
it really did look luxurious as well.
Thank
Like
you.
I love the luxury look.
Yeah, we're more into the luxury
I
for
love
sure.
it.
For sure. So I guess that's why I would say that we look like we're well seasoned. We are professionals.
Definitely.
Yeah. So although we are just starting up, we do have experience in it because we've been doing it for a really long time. Yeah.
And you guys know what you guys are doing.
Yeah. We
Definitely.
do. So I would commend anyone to, you know, give us a try.
Definitely. So I went over all of your gifts and talents. Is there anything that I forgot to mention? Is there any hidden gifts or whatnot?
No, I don't think so.
I remember there was a time where you were learning to play the violin. Have you?
Oh my God, you would bring that up. Yeah, I mean, I love music. So yeah, my dad, he did put us in music school. And I did learn to play the piano and the violin. The piano was like a secondary instrument for me. It was really, really hard. And I'm a sore loser, so I ended up quitting the piano. But I did continue with the violin. So much so that I became good enough to where I started teaching. And I actually had started making a living out of teaching, the violin. But of course, I picked up makeup. Like I said, I did go to school for music, and I was majoring in both vocal and instrumentals.
Right.
But because I had to stop due to medical issues, I ended up, you know, picking up the makeup instead. But it is something that I am considering getting back into.
That's amazing. And so, how do you feel like your gifts impacted the community or the world?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I really don't know. I guess to anyone who loves music,
Or
I've impacted them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times when I'm doing it for myself. So I never really took the time to think about how I might be impacting others.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Because you're just doing it from your soul, from your spirit.
Yeah, it's just because I enjoy doing it, and so that's why I'm doing it. So if I don't enjoy doing something, I'm gonna drop it.
And you know what? I really respect you for that because many times people they remember the experience,
Yeah.
you know, they remember the customer service, how you treat them.
Yeah.
And so it's like when they see that you love their job, like your job, and you really care about, you know, your craft, that's when I would say they love to gravitate more towards you and they appreciate you more.
Yeah, and I'm really big on customer service, no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I remember one time I went to a service and the speaker, he said that he basically said that work is sacred, you know, service is sacred. And so like when I think of you, Ofline, I really do think of a woman of service. You're like always active in the community, whether it's like doing makeup or
Really?
like
Okay.
like doing makeup and being booked or like planning an event. You're like well known in the community and you're very active, and I feel like that service is like a legacy, a beautiful legacy you're creating.
Oh wow, I didn't think of it that way, but yeah,
a beautiful legacy you're creating.
Yeah.
So I really do want to commend you on that. I really do want to commend you on cultivating the gifts that, you know, God has placed in your heart and in your soul, and like taking it from seed form to like seeing the fruits of it.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
yes, girl, I'm giving you your flowers.
Oh my
like,
God.
I see you. I see you.
It feels good to hear someone
Definitely.
look at me or realize all these things, you know, about me.
Yeah, you don't
It's
think
not
that
really
it's-
something I took the time to even look at,
Yeah.
or think about.
You don't consider yourself an inspiration? Because I do, honestly, I do.
Thank you.
I do. I really do have.
I don't know.
Like,
I think I'm a little hard on myself. I might be inspiring some people. Who knows?
You really are.
Who knows? But I keep it humble. I don't even think I have anything to be humble about. But
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes,
Thank
of
you. Thank you.
course.
I'm just doing me.
You're just doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah. Like I said about the whole being content thing.
Yeah.
All of this that I'm doing, doing makeup, being a decorator, planner, you know, playing the violin like I was, it was just all part of me just doing what I want to do, you know, and just being unapologetic about it and being okay with who I am. You know, so a lot of times, like, over time, I really stopped think about how I'm impacting others, whether it was in a positive or negative way. So I guess that's why it's kind of hard for me to see it or answer the questions that you're asking about how I, you know, whether or not I noticed that I've impacted people or was inspiring people, because everything that I've continued doing from that point on has solely been to please myself.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So but I will start looking at it in a positive light.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. I mean, I see it in a way as you taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind, your body, your soul. And
Yeah.
by you taking care of yourself, you unknowingly took care of everyone else.
Unknowingly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a domino,
That's
a positive
good.
domino effect.
That's good.
I remember reading this quote that says, by delaying your blessings, or no, excuse me, by delaying your gifts, you're actually delaying someone else's blessings. And I remember you told me earlier that, you know, you basically working in your craft, working in your gift, you just love how it impacts other people. It's like a blessing, you know, towards them. Or, you know, or rather they feel blessed from your, you know, service. And so I can say, you know, guys, you know, pray for me. You know, I'm still working on myself because I do have trouble with consistency. I do have trouble with, like, you know, starting a project to completion.
Girl, you are not alone. You are not alone.
And then I honestly often think about myself, but I never really thought about other people and how I unknowingly let other people down, and I unknowingly, basically delayed other people's blessings by the gift instilled in me that I could have given to the world. So honestly, just seeing you cultivating your gifts and sharing your gifts and just doing it, for yourself, not necessarily for anyone else, that really is an inspiration for other people out there who's shy or scared or, probably is just, hesitant about letting their light shine, letting their gifts shine or whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a nice way to think of it.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, last but not least, what do you feel like God is calling you to do next? If you would like to share.
That's really an intense and tricky question for me, because if I am to be transparent, I have hit a block road when it comes to that. And so it would be very hard for me to answer that question, because just like a lot of other people in the world, like, I don't feel like I'm alone when I say that I'm not fully connected as I'd like to be, and I'm still kind of finding that relationship and still trying to find myself in that religious aspect. I've encountered like a lot of like obstacles like down the road when it comes to that. So it will be hard for me to answer that question, because in order for me to answer that, I would have to have actually had that conversation with him and heard him tell me what it is that he sees for me. So until that relationship is formed, it would be hard for me to really tell you. But I could tell you, what I see for myself, but
so what do you see for yourself?
Just not necessarily success. I think I'm aiming more for happiness. Yeah, because success, it can mean a lot of different things for everyone. But for me, I'm successful when I'm happy. I realize that you might be in the most stable and like most best position in your life. But if you're not necessarily happy, like, what's the point?
That's true.
So I'm aiming for happiness. And sometimes that means aiming for more money. Sometimes that means aiming for that diploma or that degree or that dream career. But based on experiences, I think it's safe for me to say that like my goal would be like happiness.
Do you feel like you achieved happiness and now you're like protecting it and maintaining it?
Can I say sometimes?
Sometimes? Okay,
yeah.
So it
if that makes sense. It fluctuates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once I get the niche of it.
That's interesting. Have you ever has that been an ongoing problem with you? Like happiness?
Yes, I will say yes. Mostly because I keep having these traumatic things that keep happening in my life. And there are things that I'm still working through. Yeah. Death is very traumatic for anyone, really. So I've been having a whole lot of those. So that I would say would be the most part. Learning how to grieve, learning how to grieve for sure.
You want to get into that topic? Can we go deeper, or it's up to you?
It's up to you. I
got my tissues ready.
Now you're trying to make me cry on these people's camera.
No, we don't have to go into it if you don't want to.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and and I would probably say grief probably played a big role in why that relationship with God probably fell apart. Yeah. So it's just if you bring out the papers, then I might actually cry.
I'm sorry. I didn't want you to mess up your makeup.
It's okay. It's gonna get washed off anyways. But yeah, that's I believe that's what it is.
Right. I've recently experienced grief as well,
Yeah.
and I can honestly say that it's something that sticks with you. It doesn't necessarily ever goes away.
Yeah.
And one thing, to my surprise, is that not many people have grief etiquette.
Yeah.
They don't know how to treat people who's grieving.
Yeah.
And they kind of feel like, okay, like life goes on. What's wrong with you? Come on, be happy. And it's just kind of like, hold on now.
Exactly.
Not many people have grief etiquette. And it's kind of like...
Thankfully, I haven't really experienced that with the people around me.
Okay.
I can't say that anyone have necessarily tried to rush me into getting over a situation. Yeah, I can't say that. I am encountered by people who don't know what to say. And I'm one of those people who don't know what to say. So my advice is, I'm not going to give any advice. I'm just going to say what I do because I'm basing it on how I feel when I'm grieving. It's better to just be there. Don't say anything.
I agree.
It might sound snotty for me to say, but the whole my condolences, the repetition of it, it's the only thing you know how to say, but it's like after you hear it so much, I don't know, maybe it's some internal frustration with me. It might not be everyone else, but it's like you keep hearing things that don't necessarily fix the issue. And when you're someone like me who has hit an obstacle when it comes to like their religious, their spiritual side, the Bible quotes don't help. If anything, they anger you. Especially when you're somewhat blaming God. And just be there.
So, how do you navigate the grief process? Because we know that there's different stages. Some is denial, some is anger, some is,
It's interesting. The denial still pops in every now and then. I don't know if it's just me being crazy.
No, the denial, you're not the only one. Sometimes
I don't know.
I think like my mom is somewhere.
You can relate.
The denial,
We're coming up on 4 years since he's been gone. And it's like, it's still hard to imagine that he's actually not here.
Right.
It's like, for some reason, I keep feeling he is somewhere. He has to be somewhere.
Exactly.
And then there's other days where I'm a little bit more content in understanding that he really is gone.
Right.
But there are some days where you're just hopeful. You're just hopeful. Especially when you see someone who looks like him, or something as simple as coming home and seeing his picture, like, for example, like my uncle, he's around us a lot. That's my dad's brother. He literally coughs exactly like him.
Wow.
And so sometimes when I'm in my room and he coughs, I get startled because I be thinking it's him.
Right.
And for that moment, I just want to jump up and go outside and see if it's him. And I don't know how healthy that is, but that's one of the hardest parts about trying to navigate it.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So the denial is definitely still there. It pops up every now and then.
I get it.
Yeah.
And one thing I've realized about grief as well, like when you lose someone that's very close to you, is that there's a part of you that the world will never see again.
Yeah.
there was a side of me that I showed my mom that only my mom could bring out of me.
Yeah.
My mom is the only person who could bring out that side of me.
Yeah. I was a daddy's girl, so I'm assuming you're
right. And so, like, now that she passed transition, it's like that part is gone. It will never surface again because my mom was literally the only person who could bring that side of me.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of other deaths come after that. And they were due to natural causes, and they were also very hard, but it was their time. And they lived their lives, my grandparents. But I can truthfully say, and if I'm just being honest, my dad's death impacted me the hardest because there's a lot of things that I didn't get to do for him and also do for myself that he should have been a part of. And those are going to be the hardest milestones to go through. And like I said, I love love. I love weddings. I don't know what I'm going to do, like, on my wedding day. Like, without having my dad walk me down the aisle. That's going to be, like, the hardest part for me. Would be that and not being able to do all the things that I set forth to do for him and my mother. Yeah. And the hardest part about this is that I feel like now I have to replace him and play that role for my mother, and now it's a lot on me. It feels it's quite overwhelming, and I don't want to complain, but it's not anything that anyone would want to have to go through, because the plan was for them to grow old with each other, and he's just gone way too soon. Way too soon. He did not to see his elderly years, and I'm really upset about that.
I understand. I do, because I wasn't done. I don't think I'll ever be done with my mom, but I felt like there was still so much that we have yet to experience.
Yeah.
And I remember before she passed, she kept asking me, she said, because I'm the last of her daughter that is not married yet. And so she kept asking me before she passed, she said, Joanne, where is your husband? And I'm looking at my mom like,
Haitians.
Like, I'm not married yet. What are you talking about? And then in another instance, she asked me, Joanne, where is your husband? And I'm looking at my mom like, I'm not married. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
And then the last time she asked me, that was the day before she passed.
Oh, wow.
She asked me one last time, Joanne, where is your husband? And so at that point, it kind of clicked in my mind that, okay, maybe my mom is not necessarily asking where is my husband literally, but like there is someone out there for me that is specifically my husband.
Yeah.
And
she probably just wants you to go and find him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's something I have to learn to live with day by day, that she won't get to experience me on my wedding day.
Yeah.
Like, she met all my other sisters' husbands and whatnot. And I don't know whether that was her last dying wish, was to like see me wedded, and she feel like, okay, she's accomplished.
I mean, that's every parent's wish. I mean, typically, normally a parent's job is pretty much done. A parent's job is never fully done. Your child will always be your child. You'll always be there for your child.
Right.
But when you're letting the hand of your daughter go, you are depending and looking forward to that man to now take that take that parental role, not necessarily a parental role, I don't want to sound weird,
Right,
but
right.
they are now creating their own household.
Right, right.
And so they're now out into the world and doing your own thing.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for a son.
Exactly.
So it can feel really unfinished and impactful when your mom or dad dies too soon, before they actually get to see that happen. Because besides the milestone of getting married, there's also like graduation and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I feel like the wedding day is like the most important thing.
Exactly.
The wedding day.
Exactly.
Not even having a child, not even that to me, because I feel like you getting married is just signifies you're good now. You are now starting your own family. You're now starting your own household. You taught me everything you needed to teach me, and I'm going out and I'm starting my own.
Yeah.
So it was very important to me that I got to do that before my dad passed away. But every relationship is different. You can't rush into one. You can't, you don't dictate your timeline for getting married or for meeting someone. So
Right.
it's just a very unfortunate situation.
What brings me peace is, although, my mother didn't necessarily get to see that chapter of my life, I often think about the story of Moses. When Moses, he didn't get a chance to see the promised land, but God gave Moses, like, I would say, a preview of the promised land before he passed, like, into his memory. And I would say like a foreshadow. So personally, that's how I deal with it. Like, perhaps God showed my mom that I was going to be okay in a foreshadow of my life.
Okay.
So that's how I deal with it. That's how I cope.
Yeah, what's similar about our parents is that they died after, fighting hard with their illnesses. So it does bring me some solace, to hear you say that, because when it's not like due to like some freak accident or something like that, it is easier to believe that they might have seen something or heard something from God or whatever it is that allowed them to feel more comfortable and actually let go. Because although my faith is wavering, like I'm a strong believer of, you putting out into the atmosphere whatever it is that you actually want to happen. So I believe that once we brought my dad home from the hospital and he was actually comfortable, and after spending all those months in the hospital, he finally, like, his brain and body might not have comprehended that he was now home, but I think he felt home. And that day, having all his family around him, I think, he pretty much just was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Yeah. And
he was surrounded by family and loved ones.
Yeah. Although it was quite traumatic and very dramatic that night, because me and my mother, we were in denial all the way up until his last breath. But
I was in denial as well.
Yeah. But for him, I believe that he knew, and he was preparing himself, and I think at during his final hours, he was in a place of peace. Yeah. And that's why, he probably went so soon, like he did. We didn't even get to spend a full 24 hours with him at home when he came home from the hospital. He literally died the same night that he came home.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So he was just holding on.
I believe so.
Wow.
I believe that he was just holding on.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Does that give you some type of peace, knowing that your father passed around family and, like you said,
for him. For him, yeah. It helps me, and for his sake. It didn't do me good at all. But
I get it.
as long as it was good for him.
Right. Yeah, I get it because I wasn't ready for my mom to go.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready, and I think she knew that her time was coming as well because she would often call me and she said, "Joanne, I just want to see you. Let me see you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I'm here. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And
I met her a few times. She's a sweetheart.
yeah, thank you. I met your dad a few times as well.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart as well.
Yeah.
I would say the last memory of my mom, I visited her in the hospital early in the morning because my siblings and I, we would rotate in the hospital to watch my mother. And so my brother was coming in for the morning because I stayed overnight. And so like I was leaving for the morning and my brother was watching her for the morning.
Okay.
And so it was the same day as one of my sister's baby shower.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
And so long story short, I helped set up the baby shower. We had the baby shower.
Yeah.
And
it
right
was
after,
very hectic and traumatic that day, I remember.
Yeah. So right after the baby shower, we were actually on our way to see her. We got the phone call that she passed. So makeup helped you with your happiness, and
it did. It did. Because like I said, I just often just look for distractions. I look to get busy when I'm having one of my, hard days. If not getting busy, then binge watching something. Or spending time with my partner and my son. Yeah.
Have you experienced grief brains?
Grief what?
Grief brain. They often say that it's kind of like pregnancy brain when you forget a lot.
Well, I don't know if it has anything to do with grief, but I do have a memory issue. Yeah, my friends have told me a lot, and my family too.
Oh, wow.
I'm starting to think I have selective memory, but maybe I just need to sleep more. Yeah, because I heard like sleep deprivation, contributes a lot to memory loss. So,
right.
And, being all discombobulated when you're doing things. So, I don't know if it has anything to do with grief, or maybe it's a blend. Yeah.
Okay, because I know for me, sometimes like my mind will just go totally blank.
Oh yeah, that happens to me a lot.
And then I'm like, what's going on? Because like honestly, I had to educate myself on grief. I would watch videos on how other people deal with it or whatnot, so I would hear like their experiences, and I feel like that kind of helped me navigate my way because everyone deal with grief differently. And so I would say at first I was distracting myself, but what really helped me, and I would say this would also help anyone that you may know that's going through grief as well, is just by being there with them, hanging out with them, just get their mind off of things.
Not necessarily talking about it.
Right, not talking about it, but just like,
being there.
Hanging out with them, and just like enjoying the day with them.
Yeah.
That definitely helped me, and I really do appreciate all the people who, was supportive.
Yeah.
Even till this day, even now. So, any last words, any last thoughts, anything you want to say?
Well, not really. I'm just really appreciative and thankful for you bringing me here. I did learn a lot from you, and it does help, whether or not you know it, hearing these positive things about me, because I am hard on myself a lot. So I was nervous at first coming here. I'm not someone who really likes to be on camera. A lot of times I'm self-cautious, and the camera adds 10 pounds. And I'm currently on my health journey, so don't judge all the extra like meat and fat you're seeing right now. But I did settle in, and I'm very appreciative of this experience.
Definitely. And this is like my whole goal is to just allow people to share their story, share whatever it's on their mind and just let them know that they're not alone, that, everyone is, going through it. Everyone is going through their own, battles or whatnot, and that there's always light in the end of the tunnel. There's always a way to overcome.
Yeah.
Always. So, can I get a hug? Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed you.
Same here. I really appreciate you for taking the time for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.